So we're going to be doing an AC compressor. Oops. Okay, so this tensioner here, this one right here, has to be removed. So you're going to start with putting a 19 on there to loosen the belt. Get the belt off. And then you're going to remove this 12. And then I think it's that bolt, but I'm going to have to look at it. I can't remember. I think it's this bolt right here and this pulley. But I'll let you guys know and show you the pulley when we're done. So. Alright, the trick to this, guys, slow, steady pressure. Don't go crazy. Push it super fast. And obviously, cheater pipe, even though I'm using a long ratchet. So, alright, I think that gives you guys a pretty good view of everything. This belt's actually got a little wear on it, and it's only been a year. It's already got all, I don't know if you guys can see that. This belt's only a year old. Look at that. Crap. Alright, again, that was a 19. Lower bolt down here will be a 12. Power steering pump, because all this oil is in the side of the block. It's coming all the way from the top of the oil pump, or the oil pump, power steering fluid pump. Where my phone is at. Yeah, I think you guys can see that pretty decent. This next one I think is a 14. Ooh, I think I'm wrong. This is 17. I didn't think I remembered that being a 17, but it 100% is though. Alright, on this one, guys, we're gonna maybe we're gonna get it broke loose. That's about all the more you want to do. Break it loose, because your ratchet will back into the frame, and then you're going to be in a bind trying to hit that switch. So my recommendation is a flex head 17mm ratchet. It's actually coming out really easy. So these really, sometimes these come out real hard. And it's just probably because I've had this one out when I did the timing belt last year. So that's it. You can get on that one or that one. This one was way easier from the top. That's probably leaking a little bit, but it's an old van, so it's broke. I'm not gonna fix it. The next stop is your Freon has to be removed, which I've already done on this guy. Friend shop removed it for me. There's going to be 4 12s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this connector, which is up there. You can kind of see that one I've got off up there. And then there's a bolt holding this on that's a 10, and then a nut that's holding that on right there. That's also a 10. So we'll get those off and get these 4 bolts off, and then it should, if everything is done correctly, it should walk out this side right here. So let me get those things done for you guys real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm sorry I started to remove it without you. All I did was take the bolts out and take the lines off. It was very easy, it's not hard. The only thing that I will say that will make your life a lot easier is having a ratchet, a 1/4 inch ratchet with a flex head. Okay. Supposedly it just walks out. This is a new one. Yes, it's used. I'm on a budget. Alright guys, so I did find one at a junkyard. It's really clean. Looks like it was put on and then the vehicle. Sorry, got a piece of steel. There we go. From the junkyard. Okay. But but I tested this in the car. But this should engage the, I can't get it off. Should engage the clutch on the front. It's not engaging. So, okay, you can see I already have ground, which is what you should see right there. You see it move? Okay, this one doesn't do that. We'll do it again, just so you can see it. Okay, and like I said, I tested this in the car, so I was very comfortable in removing it. And I did confirm the line that comes from the power side to this is being commanded on. This just isn't working. So see that where there is no ground? So it means there's a break in the wire. That should be the release. We'll try it this way. Bypass the wiring altogether, and still nothing, guys. There's no connection there. So, okay, because all this does, it's a power probe. It provides ground in case you need one to do a good test off, like a bench test. So, this clearly is bad. It's probably the original one on the car, and this thing's a 2008. So, okay, so I pulled this out of the junkyard today. Ooh, wow, that is. So, we're gonna slap this one in here. Now, I did look at several units. Don't think you're gonna go and find one like this. I pulled one that was an older one that looked somewhat okay, but when I pulled it, there was a lot of dye in there. And since I cut these lines, I couldn't tell if it leaked on the compressor or if it was something else. So I pulled it, I took it with me, but I found this one. So I took this one. This one's got a little damage there just because they cut the converters off and they cut these lines. So let's get it back in there. Okay, guys. Wow, guys, that went in so much easier. Than it did coming out, I'll tell you that much. And these bolts, the 4 bolts that hold it in, those are now I will say that once you get these lines on, which I'm going to get these, I'm going to get one of these bolts nice and smooth. But we'll get the lines on next. That way we could start pulling a vacuum on it. The only thing that if you were to go above and beyond on a job like this, where we're putting a used compressor on, is I would recommend buying the O-rings for this. It's been hot outside the last several days, and honestly the last week and a half here, and my kids are in this van, and if I have to replace O-rings later because it leaks a little bit, I'll deal with it later. I'm gonna get it up and running for this week at least, but I don't think it's gonna leak. I mean, I'm gonna find out for sure, but okay. So I'm gonna put the bolt line in first. Okay. Be careful. And do not cross thread that, guys. Very easy. If you can't start it by hand, don't force it, because you're gonna cross thread it. But yeah, once you get these lines on, start a vacuum pump. Just because it's good to run a vacuum since the lines have been open for a while. I'm not sure if you can rent those from O'Reilly's or anything like that. I really don't know. Ow. Don't round the bolt either. Actually, so I can't get this line in due to that bolt. So I'll need to get that bolt in first. I'm just gonna get them all done. Sorry about that, guys. I had to. Okay. So now we're gonna Alright guys, and this plug if you can see that, it's just right there. And you just push this button down there on the and pull down, and it comes right out. Super easy, guys. Let's get it all put back together. Let's get a vacuum pump running on this, put the belt back on. Like really, I think this was a find though, guys, because I don't know if you can see that. That thing looks like it was put on and then the vehicle got in an accident and taken to the junkyard. Brand new. So okay, so your AC lines screw on here. So a new compressor would have cost me $450. You could find some as low as $300-ish, and there's some really cheap ones on that 2-day shipping app. But you could buy, I think, these from Harbor Freight fairly cheap, and then these gauges they've gotten super cheap at Harbor Freight too, and you'll get your use out of them, make your money back out of them. So so we do that, and we just turn it on and leave it for about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, and we'll close the system, and then we'll retest or come out and check the gauges. And then this gauge here is going to pull down to the 30, and then hopefully it'll stay there when we let it sit for the 15-20 minutes after we've run it for 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to turn you guys off. All I'm going to do is put tensioner back on and belt back on while that's running. So sit tight. All right guys, so you hook up here, high side, low side, high side, low side. You can use a set like this after you pull the vacuum with this guy here. Another tool that does work and does get you by if you really have to, and I do have one of these just because sometimes these new cans, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, depends on what the fitting is. Like this one won't work on any of mine, so it won't work on this guy, it won't work on my snap-on gauge set. So and this is essentially, if you ever buy one of those big bottles of Freon, like the real big tall ones, I got this from a friend of mine who did theirs. They couldn't figure it out. I fixed their system, and then they let me have that, and it's just a good little backup that you can have. Or if you're on a budget, you don't want to buy a whole big gauge set, it only lets you see the low side. But this one here is the same thing with a little bit longer end on it. I've done a few jobs for people, obviously, and they've been nice enough to let me keep those just as alternatives, because you never know. These cans are super cheap. I'm going to try to get that one returned. Like I said, it didn't work at all. So, and then if you do have a gauge set like this, you do have to buy an end like this, and there is a newer style compared to the old ones, but this has been the modern day one for quite a while. I mean, I don't know, 10 years this is what they've been using. But the old ones look just like this, guys, and if you're using the old one and you just can't tap those cans, it's because you're using an old one and you got to go buy this new style and how it punches, okay, because it works with the ball valves. So sadly I do not have a temp gauge, but it's blowing cold, guys. These vans have never been known to blow like ice, but it's definitely blowing cold, and it's going to be a huge help. My kids are going to love it. My wife is going to appreciate it. So yeah, that does it. But oh my gosh, the toys in the yard are going to kill me. But just a 2008 Odyssey, I believe it's 05 to 2010-ish, somewhere in there. Should be the same thing for all of them. So I hope you find this helpful, and hope it saves you some money, guys. Till next time.